Hi everyone, this is Chantal. I'm here in my hometown, Miami. I'm originally from Canada, for the ones who don't know me. I just want to share a little story about my life today. Um, I'm sorry I didn't prepare the video. There's no script written, nothing, so I'm just gonna go with my guts feeling about what I experienced and related to my channel and just to explain to you and give you an idea where I come from. So 4 years ago, I left everything and I moved to Turkey. Okay, why? I've been working for a nurse for a long time. Burnout, financially not good because no matter how much you work, living in the US, you only pay bills. You pay bills and everything's expensive and you never really have enough money. You saving, yes, I did save in the past, but then life happens. I lost money on the market. I lost money with some investment, etc. So anyways, things were not going that well, and I always wanted to live overseas all my life. I traveled a lot overseas. I worked overseas for 1 year or two, but I never lived anywhere permanently. So I always wanted to experience that. And I'm like thinking, this is the right moment. Inflation is creeping. I'm burned out. Financial situation not good. Anyways, so as I know this country very well, and I love Turkey, I made many friends. I know the country very well. I've traveled all over Turkey. People are amazing. The culture is amazing. I'm a tango dancer, so also connected to that over there. So I analyzed the place, the country, and all the situation. And I discovered that it's very easy to immigrate there. They give residency super easily. My friends, confirmed that. And the cost of living was extremely low. And some people were moving there because, for $1,000 a month, you can live very well. You could live very well, not the case anymore. So I decided to give it a big go and go for it. So after being in the US 25 years, my whole life is here. Okay, I'm originally from Canada again. I don't know if I said that. 25 years in the US, in Miami, Florida. So I built a life here. But I just felt I need to do this experience. If I don't do it, I'll regret it forever. So I took the big leap and I left everything here. I left my job, which is, my job is used to me going, coming back, going, coming back. So that was okay. As a nurse, you can find a job in 1 day. So that was not too worrying. My apartment, I own an apartment here and I didn't know what to do with that. I was thinking I want to sell it. I don't want any link, and that money is gonna come handy over there and all that. But everybody advised me not to sell my apartment. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. Well, for once I listened to my friends and I didn't sell it. Happy I didn't, but anyways. So I rented it, okay? I left my job, my apartment, my dog, because there's no way she's going to travel there and going through all that stress. So a friend of mine adopted my little girl. I left my dance business, my dance partner, my best friend. I left a lot of things behind. All my friends. So, but I had to do it. There was something I felt in my heart. I have to do it. So that's it. I left one day with my 4 suitcases, 4 big suitcases. That's all I had. Well, that's enough. I struggle carrying that. So then I arrived in Antalya at midnight. Nobody's in the street. I'm stuck with my 4 big suitcases. Thank God the taxi driver helped me, and I had 2 flights of stairs to go with these 4. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I just do? It was like, then I had a moment of panic, which is really not my style because I've traveled so much in my life, lived in the weirdest countries and visited the weirdest countries, and I never freaked out. I had that But I guess this was a more permanent move, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm so far away from everybody, my family, my friends. I'm alone here with my 4 suitcases. My whole life is in here. And like, that's a crazy idea. What did I just do? Anyways, I couldn't sleep that night, but then came back to my senses slowly, and every day was getting better, and finally I settled down. My nice Airbnb, which was $300 a month at that time, not anymore. Huge kind of house, beautiful, very nice, like 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Everything was super nice, in the middle of the best area in Antalya. Antalya actually is a quite a big town in Turkey. It's on the coast, beautiful, a little bit more quiet than Istanbul, but that's where I started. So anyways, then I was getting used to it. I fell in the routine. Cost of living was super cheap. I was getting some money from the government in Canada. I had savings. I was doing a little bit of trading. So financially I was good. And you can live there, at that time you could live there for $1,000 a month very comfortably. Okay, not the case anymore. So anyways, applied for my residency with a lawyer. And then everything changed. The war in Russia-Ukraine was declared. I'm not sure about all the precise dates. As I said, I didn't prepare my whole story very accurately, but it was like the beginning of the war with Russia and Ukraine. So all the Russian citizens were moving everywhere to avoid being in that kind of environment and a political situation. Then Syria was having big issues. Syria is right next to Turkey. So a lot of people moved from Syria to Turkey. So something happened that Turkey became overpopulated with political refugees, immigrants. So then they started to really restrict the residencies. And no matter how, I did everything, I applied many times, I was at the immigration office so many times. They kept on renewing my visa, but at one point they wouldn't renew it anymore, and they refused my residency application. That was a year later. So I was very disappointed, didn't know what to do. My friends were trying to help me. You can find a job here, you can study. I didn't feel like going through all this aggravation, and I was just thinking what to do. Then with all the Russians coming in, they doubled the rents and tripled the rents, and everything doubled. The Turks were like, nobody was like, could afford anything, especially the Turks with the salaries that were staying at the same rate. And the Russian community who moved there, most people had money, and they didn't care paying $1,000 for a rent. But I did. I was not happy with that. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pay $1,000 for a rent, because then I might as well go back to the US. In those days I was paying like here like $1,300, something like that. So I'm like, now the food was everything was increasing. Okay, so there was a big crisis. The elections were coming up. It was a lot of tension. So anyways, then something happened, something very weird with my Facebook account. It was hacked by some kind of weird group. I'm not gonna give you details on that because it's very unpleasant. And I got a little bit uncomfortable with everything. So I just thought, this is a sign that it's not working for me. Everything is going towards, okay, this is not working. Either you keep trying, but at that point I kind of tried everything and it was a dead end. So after that hack on my social media account that kind of scared me, I decided, okay, that's it, I need to go back. I mean, there's nothing here that's going to be good for my life. Then the big earthquake happened. Everything was weird, everything turned upside down. And so that's how life is. So finally, I was very sad. My friends tried everything to keep me there, but somehow I couldn't sustain anything, so I decided to come back. So I came back. My apartment was rented, so I stayed with friends 6 months, another friend 6 months, and then I repossessed my apartment. The lady moved out, and I moved back in my apartment. Thank God I didn't sell it at that point. I was happy for that. Went back to my job, then started kind of over from scratch, more or less. Refurnish all the apartment, and it was like, it was discouraging, but you know, within 6 months I was fine. So, but the conclusion is that I wish I would have known then what I know now about business online, because if I had started that earlier in my life, I could have done a lot of stuff. You know, we say you cannot regret, you just learn from your mistakes. Yes, it's never too late, although I'm like, I find it's a bit late for me, but it's never too late because I know people older than me then are starting that and they're like super successful, and there's so many people involved in that business that are like going up the ladder. People with no experience, no IT skills, hardly speaking English, like out of nowhere. They are way more advanced than me, actually. So I'm like, if these people can make it, I can. So this system was introduced to me by people I really trust, and that's why I decided to go for it. Because you know, you go through online stuff and you don't know, is that a scam? Is this, you don't know what this is all about, right? There's scams, yes, and there's like, yeah, that's not for me. I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to recruit people. That's not my style. I'm totally not a sell person. And I don't want to bother family and try to get friends into that. No way. So anyway, that system was introduced me by people I really trust, and it came at the right moment in my life. I feel financially I'm stuck because no matter, I'm not making much money at the hospital unless I kill myself working 5 days a week, 12 hours and more, which I cannot do. I choose my health before dying of a stroke or a heart attack. Sorry, but that job is too crazy. And actually all the jobs are crazy because we live in a world of like modern slavery. The big corporations are slaving us. The health corporations, same thing. The more you do, the more they want. People are working 12, 15 hours a day. They're not even nurses, 6 days a week. They get sick. They work like that all their lives. And then they reach, retirement, and they get sick. That's so common. Oh, well, as a nurse, I've seen these cases a lot. And I always thought this is not the way I'm going to go. So I managed always to work part-time and doing a little bit of side hustling here and there. But I traveled a lot in my life, and that's where my money went. Traveling is my life. If I don't have that, I'd rather die. But to travel, you need money. So the money I spent went a lot into my traveling. So anyways, I know it's a long story, but bear with me. So I decided to go for it. These people introduced me to that. They didn't even tell me about it. I just asked them out of nowhere, so what's new with you guys? And then my friend said, well, I started that business online, and you know, I'm like, what business? What are you talking about? I always wanted to work online, but I don't find anything I like. So she's like, no, this is good. She told me a little bit about it, and I'm like, I joined right away because I trust these people. And without trust, I'm very skeptical about everything. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust any system. So I decided to just dive in and go for it. So these friends of mine who introduced me, they actually started that business because their friends, who they are friends with like 30 years, were doing extremely well. And they, of course, like me by chance, they said, yeah, we're doing this and that. If you're interested, just, you know, go check the video. You can just check if it's for you. And it gives you a good idea what it's all about. You can think about it. There's no obligation, no pressure, nothing. So I did that and I really jumped in right away, okay? So that's the story, but the conclusion is that I wish I knew then what I know now, because I could have, if I had started that business earlier, I would be still in Turkey or somewhere else in the world, Bali or anywhere. And I would have a constant source of income, and even a passive source of income, you know, coming in. But it's never too late, right? or too early. I wish people start that earlier than me. But then I know people older than me that are like super successful. They started 1 year, 2 years ago, and they're way up there. So I'm like, if everybody can do that, because many people are succeeding with their stuff online. And like, why not me? You don't need experience. You don't need IT experience, because everything is taught and you're guided step by step with the system. So we can learn things. It's not like you're going back to school or anything like that. It's quite simple, but you're guided and you're supported all the way. So that's a good part about it. There's many good parts about it, but I cannot tell you everything about it. Otherwise it'll be too long. And if you're interested, or you like my story, it's inspiring. It's a kind of a different story, but comes down to a point that we're slaving all our lives, and then at the end of the road we don't have much to end our days comfortably and have the lifestyle that we want, comfortable, not having to worry about financial situation, the cost of healthcare and all these things. As you get older, things get more complicated. So anyways, just wanted to share with you that short, long story. Sorry, it's a bit long. My God, 16 minutes. But anyways, you can follow my journey, visit my website, and just by curiosity, go from there. Thank you for listening to me, and have a good evening.